Lecture 4, Academic Writing Style, the Three Pillars, Introduction. Welcome to Lecture 4 of our comprehensive APA Style series, Academic Writing Style and the Three Pillars. In our previous lectures, we've mastered the technical foundation and organizational structure of professional academic writing. Today, we're focusing on the writing style principles that transform well-formatted, well-organized content into compelling, clear, and powerful scholarly communication. This lecture introduces you to the three fundamental pillars of effective academic writing: continuity, precision, and conciseness. These principles work together to create writing that engages readers, communicates ideas clearly, and demonstrates your mastery of scholarly discourse. Understanding and applying these pillars will elevate your writing from adequate to exceptional. Over the next 30 minutes, you'll discover how to create smooth transitions that guide readers through your ideas, choose precise language that conveys exactly what you mean, and eliminate wordiness that obscures your message. These skills will transform not only your academic writing, but your professional communication throughout your career. Introduction to the three pillars. The three pillars of effective academic writing: continuity, precision, and conciseness represent the core principles that distinguish exceptional scholarly communication from merely adequate academic work. These pillars work synergistically, each supporting and enhancing the others to create writing that is both intellectually rigorous and genuinely engaging. Continuity ensures that your ideas flow logically and smoothly, creating a coherent narrative that guides readers through complex concepts without confusion or abrupt transitions. When your writing has strong continuity, readers can follow your reasoning effortlessly, understanding how each point connects to your overall argument. Precision involves choosing exactly the right words to convey your intended meaning, eliminating ambiguity, and ensuring that readers understand precisely what you're communicating. Precise writing demonstrates intellectual rigor and respect for your readers' time and attention. Conciseness means expressing your ideas efficiently, using only the words necessary to convey your meaning clearly and completely. Concise writing respects readers' cognitive resources and ensures that your key points receive appropriate emphasis rather than being buried in unnecessary verbiage. These three pillars are not independent requirements but interconnected principles that reinforce each other. Continuity without precision can create smooth, flowing writing that lacks intellectual rigor. Precision without conciseness can result in accurate but unnecessarily complex communication. Conciseness without continuity can produce choppy, disconnected prose that's difficult to follow. When you master all three pillars and apply them consistently, your writing achieves the clarity, authority, and engagement that characterize the best scholarly communication. Readers will find your work accessible yet sophisticated, clear yet comprehensive, engaging yet academically rigorous. Pillar 1. Continuity, creating smooth flow. Continuity represents the foundation of readable academic writing. It's the quality that allows readers to move smoothly through your ideas, understanding how each sentence connects to the next and how each paragraph builds toward your overall argument. Creating strong continuity requires strategic use of transitional elements and careful attention to logical flow. Effective transitions serve as bridges between ideas, explicitly showing readers how your thoughts connect and develop. Transitions operate at multiple levels: between sentences within paragraphs, between paragraphs within sections, and between major sections of your paper. Mastering transitions at all these levels creates writing that feels cohesive and purposeful rather than fragmented or random. Sentence-level transitions connect individual ideas within paragraphs. These transitions might show cause and effect relationships, such as consequently, therefore, or as a result. They might indicate contrasts, using words like however, nevertheless, or in contrast. They might show addition or emphasis with phrases like furthermore, additionally, or more importantly. Let me demonstrate the difference transitions make. Consider the example without effective transitions. Social media affects academic performance. Students spend hours on platforms like Instagram and TikTok. Their study time decreases. Their grades suffer. Research supports this connection. Now observe the same content with strategic transitions. Social media significantly affects academic performance. Specifically, students spend hours on platforms like Instagram and TikTok, which consequently reduces their available study time. As a result, their grades suffer. Furthermore, extensive research supports this connection between social media use and academic decline. The second version guides readers smoothly through the logical progression, making the relationships between ideas explicit and easy to follow. Paragraph-level transitions connect larger blocks of ideas, showing how each paragraph contributes to your overall argument. These transitions often appear in the opening sentences of paragraphs, explicitly connecting the new content to what came before. Effective paragraph transitions might reference previous content while introducing new ideas. While the previous research demonstrates social media's negative effects, recent studies suggest more nuanced relationships between technology use and academic performance. Section-level transitions connect major parts of your paper, helping readers understand how different sections contribute to your overall purpose. These transitions might appear as brief, transitional paragraphs, or as opening sentences in new sections that explicitly connect to previous content. Beyond explicit transitional words and phrases, continuity also depends on consistent terminology and logical organization. Use the same terms for the same concepts throughout your paper. If you introduce social media platforms in your introduction, don't switch to digital networking sites later without explanation. Consistent terminology helps readers follow your ideas without confusion about whether you're discussing the same or different concepts. Logical organization supports continuity by presenting ideas in sequences that make sense to readers. Move from general to specific, from simple to complex, or from familiar to unfamiliar. Avoid jumping randomly between different aspects of your topic without clear connections. Pronoun reference contributes to continuity by creating clear connections between sentences. Use pronouns like this, these, such, and it strategically to refer back to previous ideas while introducing new information. However, ensure that pronoun references are clear and unambiguous. Repetition of key terms and concepts, when used strategically, reinforces continuity by reminding readers of central themes and maintaining focus on your main arguments. Avoid excessive repetition that becomes monotonous, but don't hesitate to repeat important concepts. When doing so, enhances clarity and coherence. The goal of continuity is to create writing that feels like a guided tour through your ideas rather than a series of disconnected observations. Readers should feel that you're leading them purposefully through your reasoning, with each step building logically toward your conclusions. Pillar 2, precision, choosing exact language. Precision in academic writing means choosing words that convey exactly what you mean, eliminating ambiguity and ensuring that readers understand your intended message with complete accuracy. Precise writing demonstrates intellectual rigor and shows respect for both your subject matter and your readers. Precision begins with understanding the exact meanings of the words you use. Many words that seem similar actually carry different connotations or technical meanings. For example, affect and effect are frequently confused, but they serve different grammatical functions and convey different relationships. Affect is typically a verb meaning to influence, while effect is typically a noun meaning a result or consequence. Similarly, words like significant, substantial, and considerable might seem interchangeable, but they carry different implications about degree and importance. In research contexts, significant often refers specifically to statistical significance, while substantial suggests practical importance. Choosing the precise term ensures that readers understand exactly what you're claiming. Avoid vague qualifiers that weaken your statements without adding meaningful information. Words like very, quite, rather, and somewhat often signal imprecise thinking. Instead of writing "the results were quite significant," specify exactly what you mean. The results showed statistical significance at the p less than 0.001 level, or the results demonstrated practical significance with a large effect size. Replace weak verbs with strong specific verbs that convey precise actions or relationships. Instead of "the study looked at social media use," write "the study examined social media use," or the study analyzed social media patterns. The verbs examined and analyzed convey specific types of investigation, while looked at is vague and informal. Be specific about quantities, timeframes, and relationships. Instead of many students, specify 67% of students or 43 of the 65 participants. Instead of recent research, specify research conducted between 2018 and 2023, or studies published in the past 5 years. Choose concrete nouns over abstract generalizations when possible. Instead of technology use, specify smartphone usage, social media engagement, or digital device interaction, depending on what you actually mean. Concrete terms help readers understand exactly what you're discussing. Eliminate hedge words that unnecessarily weaken your statements. Phrases like "it seems that," "it appears that," or "one might argue that" often signal uncertainty where none is warranted. If you have evidence for a claim, state it directly. If you're genuinely uncertain, explain the specific reasons for uncertainty rather than using vague hedge language. However, precision also means acknowledging limitations and uncertainties when they genuinely exist. Don't overstate your claims or present tentative findings as definitive conclusions. Use precise language to describe the exact scope and limitations of your evidence. Technical terminology requires special attention to precision. Use discipline-specific terms accurately and consistently. If you're writing about psychological concepts, ensure that you're using terms like correlation, causation, validity, and reliability with their precise technical meanings rather than their casual conversational meanings. Define key terms when precision requires it, especially when you're using familiar words in technical ways or when your audience might not share your specialized knowledge. Definitions ensure that you and your readers are working with the same understanding of important concepts. Precision also applies to citation and attribution. Be specific about what sources claim, what evidence supports different conclusions, and how different researchers' findings relate to each other. Avoid overgeneralizing from limited evidence or misrepresenting sources' actual claims. Consider the difference between these two statements. Research shows that social media is bad for students versus longitudinal studies by Smith et al. 2022 and Jones 2023 demonstrate that excessive social media use, more than 3 hours daily, correlates with decreased academic performance among undergraduate students, particularly in reading comprehension. The second statement demonstrates precision in multiple ways. It specifies the type of research, identifies particular studies, defines excessive use, describes the specific population studied, and clarifies the particular academic areas affected. This precision allows readers to understand exactly what the research shows and evaluate its relevance to their own interests or situations. Pillar 3, Conciseness, Eliminating Wordiness. Conciseness means expressing your ideas using only the words necessary to convey your meaning clearly and completely. Concise writing respects your reader's time and cognitive resources, while ensuring that your key points receive appropriate emphasis rather than being buried in unnecessary language. Conciseness is not about writing short sentences or eliminating important details. Instead, it's about eliminating words that don't contribute to meaning, clarity, or emphasis. Every word in your academic writing should serve a purpose, either conveying information, clarifying relationships, or enhancing understanding. One of the most common sources of wordiness involves redundant expressions that repeat the same idea in different words. Phrases like past history, future plans, end result, and final conclusion contain unnecessary repetition because history is always past, plans are always future, results are always endpoints, and conclusions are always final. Similarly, avoid phrases that use multiple words where one would suffice. Instead of in order to, simply write to. Instead of due to the fact that, write because. Instead of at this point in time, write now. These substitutions eliminate unnecessary words without losing any meaning. Eliminate filler phrases that add no informational value. Expressions like, it is important to note that, it should be mentioned that, or it is interesting to observe that typically introduce information that should stand on its own merit. If something is truly important or interesting, demonstrate its importance through evidence and analysis rather than announcing it with filler language. Replace weak verb constructions with strong active verbs. Instead of make a decision, write decide. Instead of conduct an analysis, write analyze. Instead of provide assistance, write help or assist. These changes eliminate unnecessary words while creating more direct, energetic prose. Avoid unnecessary prepositional phrases that can be replaced with simpler constructions. Instead of students in the study, write study participants or the students studied. Instead of the results of the analysis, write the analysis results or the analytical findings. Eliminate expletive constructions that begin with there is, there are, it is, or it was when possible. These constructions often create wordy, indirect sentences. Instead of there are many factors that influence academic performance, write many factors influence academic performance. Instead of it was found that social media affects concentration, write the study found that social media affects concentration. However, conciseness must be balanced with clarity and completeness. Don't eliminate words that are necessary for understanding, emphasis, or precision. Sometimes longer constructions are actually clearer than shorter alternatives, especially when dealing with complex ideas or technical concepts. Let me demonstrate effective conciseness with before and after examples. Original wordy version: in order to conduct an analysis of the effects that social media usage has on the academic performance of students, researchers made a decision to implement a longitudinal study design that would allow for the examination of changes over a period of time. Concise revision: to analyze social media's effects on student academic performance, researchers implemented a longitudinal study design that examined changes over time. The revision eliminates 21 words while preserving all essential information and actually improving clarity through more direct expression. Conciseness also applies to sentence structure. Combine related ideas into single sentences. When doing so, improves flow and reduces repetition. However, don't create overly complex sentences that become difficult to follow. The goal is efficient expression, not sentence length reduction at the expense of clarity. Practice conciseness by reviewing your drafts specifically for wordiness. Read each sentence and ask whether every word contributes to meaning, clarity, or emphasis. Look for opportunities to combine ideas, eliminate redundancy, and replace weak constructions with stronger alternatives. Integration of the three pillars. The three pillars of effective academic writing work together synergistically to create prose that is simultaneously clear, authoritative, and engaging. When you master continuity, precision, and conciseness as integrated principles rather than separate techniques, your writing achieves the sophistication and effectiveness that characterize the best scholarly communication. Continuity provides the logical framework that guides readers through your ideas smoothly and purposefully. Precision ensures that every word conveys exactly what you mean, eliminating ambiguity and demonstrating intellectual rigor. Conciseness eliminates unnecessary language that could obscure your message or waste readers' cognitive resources. Together, these pillars create writing that respects both your subject matter and your readers. Continuous writing shows respect for readers' need to follow your logic easily. Precise writing shows respect for the complexity and importance of your ideas. Concise writing shows respect for readers' time and attention. The integration of these pillars becomes most apparent in revision. As you review your drafts, consider all three principles simultaneously. Ask whether your transitions create smooth flow between ideas, whether your word choices convey precise meanings, and whether every sentence expresses its ideas efficiently. Sometimes these principles might seem to conflict. For example, precision might seem to require longer explanations that challenge conciseness. However, true mastery involves finding solutions that serve all three principles. Often, the most precise language is also the most concise, and the clearest explanations create the smoothest continuity. Practice integrating these pillars by reading excellent academic writing in your field and analyzing how successful authors achieve continuity, precision, and conciseness simultaneously. Notice how they create smooth transitions, choose exact language, and express complex ideas efficiently. practical application, and revision strategies. Implementing the 3 pillars requires systematic revision strategies that help you identify and improve continuity, precision, and conciseness in your own writing. Develop a revision process that addresses each pillar systematically while considering their integration. For continuity, read your draft aloud or have text-to-speech software read it to you. Listen for places where the flow feels choppy or where connections between ideas aren't clear. Mark these locations and add appropriate transitions or reorganize content for better logical flow. For precision, examine each sentence and ask whether your word choices convey exactly what you mean. Look for vague terms, weak verbs, and unnecessary qualifiers. Replace imprecise language with specific, accurate alternatives that demonstrate your understanding of the subject matter. For conciseness, review each paragraph and eliminate words that don't contribute to meaning, clarity, or emphasis. Look for redundant expressions, filler phrases, and weak constructions that can be replaced with more direct alternatives. Create a personal checklist based on your common writing challenges. If you tend to use weak transitions, focus extra attention on continuity. If you often use vague language, emphasize precision in your revision process. If your writing tends toward wordiness, prioritize conciseness. Remember that mastering these pillars is a developmental process. Each paper you write provides opportunities to practice and improve these skills. Be patient with yourself while maintaining high standards for your final products. Conclusion and transition. Congratulations on mastering the 3 pillars of effective academic writing. You now understand how continuity, precision, and conciseness work together to create scholarly communication that is clear, authoritative, and engaging. These principles will transform your writing throughout your academic career and into your professional life. In Lecture 5, we'll build on these style principles by exploring grammar, usage, and language guidelines that ensure your writing meets the highest standards of professional communication. You'll learn about strategic verb tense usage, inclusive language practices, and the mechanical precision that supports your stylistic excellence. The writing style mastery you've developed in this lecture provides the foundation for all effective scholarly communication. Practice these principles consistently, and they'll become natural parts of your writing process, allowing you to focus on developing and presenting your ideas with maximum impact. Thank you for joining me for Lecture 4. Your mastery of the 3 pillars represents a significant milestone in your development as a scholarly writer.